Okay, beta, let's start now. I'll just see what, there are a lot of people who have not joined, but let's start anyway. I'm going to share my screen and we'll continue where we left off. Is the screen visible, please? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, beta. Okay, beta.
Yes, sir.
So that's good. Okay, so okay, beta. Yeah. So what we'll do now is we'll continue from this point. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, beta. So I'm now sharing the screen. This is the last diagram that I had done. And I will continue with this differential amplifier. So if you look at the differential amplifier, you see that there are two input signals. There are two input signals. One input signal is called as V1. The other input signal is called as V2. VD is, as I last time told you, a differential voltage. VD is the differential voltage. VD is the differential voltage that amplifies the difference between these two signals. Okay, V0 is the output, and you see that it is V1 minus V2. Obviously, when it works like an amplifier, there will be a gain, but as of now, it is V1 minus V2. So the same thing now I take ahead. It is the same diagram that you have at the bottom. It is the same diagram that you have at the bottom. So, and the explanation which I have given you. So there are two input terminals. One is V1, the other is V2. There is one output terminal, that is this one. This one is the output terminal of a differential amplifier. V1 and V2 are connected to the input terminal. So this is one input terminal. This is the other input terminal of the differential amplifier. Both these voltages are measured with respect to ground. Check this. So this is with respect to ground. This is with respect to ground. So both voltages V1 and V2 are measured with respect to ground. What is an ideal differential amplifier? The output voltage V0 is proportional to the difference between the two input signals. So look at this very important statement. For an ideal differential amplifier, the output voltage V0 is proportional. That is where the gain comes in. That is why the word proportional to the difference between the two input signals. And this is basically the formula for an ideal differential amplifier. The output voltage V0 is proportional to the difference between the two input voltages. Okay. So once again, I want to finish off this topic. Look at the ideal differential amplifier block diagram. There are two input voltages, V1 and V2, both connected to the input terminals of the differential amplifier. There is one output terminal, which is V0. The input voltages V1 and V2 are measured with respect to ground. What does an ideal differential amplifier do? The output voltage V0 is proportional to the difference between the two signals. So here you see it is V1 minus V2. And the general expression for an output voltage is V0 proportional to V1 minus V2. Let me just go ahead now. So this is about the ideal differential amplifier. We started from here. This is the block diagram, and I've given you the explanation for the ideal differential amplifier. Now let us understand this very important term, which is your differential signal VD, which is your differential signal VD. So we are talking about a differential input signal VD. So what is VD? It is the difference between the two input signals V1 minus V2. It is the difference between the two input signals V1 minus V2. And difference between V1 minus V2 is your differential signal VD. Look at the formula. VD is V1 minus V2. Okay. So VD is V1 minus V2. Now let us work on this formula. When will the output V0, let me work on this formula. When will the output of the differential amplifier be 0? The output will be 0 only when V1 is equal to V2. So amplifier will produce a 0 output voltage. When will this happen? V1 minus V2 will be 0, or V1 is equal to V2, or V1 is equal to V2. Only when V1 is equal to V2, or V1 minus V2 is equal to 0, VD is equal to 0, will the output of the amplifier be 0. The amplifier output will be non-zero. Can you see this? Only if V1 minus V2, which is your VD, has a non-zero value. So if VD, or in other words, V1 minus V2 has a non-zero value, then the output of the amplifier will be non-zero. It is very, very simple to understand. But look at this very important term. What is the differential input voltage VD? It is the difference between the two input voltages V1 minus V2. If VD is 0, the amplifier output is 0. If VD is non-zero, in other words, V1 minus V2 is non-zero, there will be an output to the amplifier, or the amplifier output will have a non-zero value. So differential signal VD is V1 minus V2. This is what you see in this diagram here also. This is your VD, which is your differential signal V1 minus V2, which are your two input voltages to your differential amplifier. So is this formula very clear? VD is V1 minus V2. Okay. And V1 minus V, if V1 is equal to V2, VD is 0, amplifier output is 0. If V1 minus V2 is non-zero, VD is non-zero, and amplifier output is non-zero. I'll just move ahead, and we are going to talk about an ideal differential amplifier again. Okay, what do you mean by this word common signal? The word common signal means V1 is equal to V2. That means if a common signal is applied inputs, in other words, V1 is equal to V2 is V, the output will be 0. The output will be 0. So look at this word, a common signal, which in other words is if V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V, if a common signal is applied to both the inputs of the differential amplifier, the output of a differential amplifier will be a 0 output voltage. Okay. What does an amplifier do? The amplifier only amplifies this difference between the input signal. That is how the name differential amplifier. Okay. The amplifier will only amplify the difference. What is the difference? V1 minus V2 between the input signals. That is how the name differential amplifier. Okay. So I'm just giving you a couple of seconds. We will just go through this. This is the first, I'll just have a look at it very, very, very quickly. This is the first block diagram of a differential amplifier, two inputs, output V1 minus V2. Just take a couple of seconds, look at the diagram. Look at this diagram. I'm going on to the next slide. This is the complete explanation. Two input terminals, and you can see the diagram here itself. So two input terminals, V1 and V2, one output terminal V0. V1 and V2 are 0 output voltage. 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 V1 and V2 are 0 output signals of the amplifier V1 minus V2, or it is proportional to V1 minus V2. So this is the expression for the output voltage V1 minus V2. I'll go ahead to the next slide. This is your differential input VD, which is V1 minus V2. If V1 minus V2 is 0, VD is 0, amplifier output is 0. If V1 minus V2 is non-zero, VD is non-zero, amplifier output is non-zero. Okay, so this is what this slide tells you. Let me move ahead. This is why the name differential amplifier is, because the amplifier is only going to amplify the difference between the two input voltages V1 minus V2. That is how the name differential amplifier. Okay, if V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V, in other words, that signal is referred to as a common signal. The amplifier is going to give you a zero output voltage. Okay, any questions up to this point of time before I move ahead? Any questions before I move ahead?
No, sir.
Everybody is clear about the ideal differential amplifier?
Yes.
Okay, beta. I am now moving ahead then. We have already spoken about this. We have spoken about what is a common mode signal. So V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V, or when the same signal is applied to both the input terminals, it is referred to as a common mode signal. And this is also now you are aware of what is output voltage. It is a zero output voltage when V1 is equal to V2. So output voltage produced by 0 for a common mode signal. So again, this should be mode signal. So there VD is 0. So there is no amplification. That is why the output voltage is 0. So this, I think, is very, very simple to understand, and we will then move ahead. Okay. This is another very important term or a very important parameter. It is called as a differential gain. It is called as a differential gain. It's a very, very, very important parameter. It is defined as the gain at which the differential amplifier amplifies the differential. What is the differential signal? V1 minus V2. The gain, the amount by which this difference, the amount by which this signal is amplified is referred to as a differential gain, is referred to as a differential gain. Differential gain is defined as the amount by which your amplifier is able to amplify signals. Signals in the 1 minus V2, differential signals, V1 minus V2. Okay. How is a differential gain? A stands for, the letter A stands for gain. This is the differential gain. This is the ideal value. This is the ideal value. This is the practical value. Ideally, you want the gain to be infinite. Practically, for a very good op amp, you want the gain to be as large as possible. Okay, so this is another term that is called as a differential gain. Okay, now we are going to come to another term that is called as common mode gain. The first point is very, very clear to you. It says, when will be the output of an ideal differential amplifier 0? only when V1 is equal to V2. Okay? Only when V1 is equal to V2. This is a very, very, very important term. We spoke about differential gain. Now we are going to talk about common mode gain. The output of an ideal differential amplifier is 0 if V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V. Okay, let us look at a practical op amp. In a practical op amp, the output voltage V0 not only depends upon the differential gain, not only depends upon VD, but it also depends upon a signal, common mode signal. It also depends upon a signal. That signal is called as a common mode signal. Okay, what is the common mode gain? It is the gain with which a differential amplifier identifies or amplifies a common mode signal, and it is called as AC. Ideally, this value should be 0, and practically its value should be very low. Let me just repeat what I have said. Common mode gain is something which is, suppose I denote the common mode gain as ACM. Suppose I denote it by this value ACM. Okay, I denote it by ACM. So what is the common mode gain? For an ideal differential amplifier, if there is a common mode signal, the output is 0. However, when you work with a practical differential amplifier, it is just not the differential voltage, but also a common mode voltage signal that is called as VC. Okay, what is VC? The gain at which a practical differential amplifier amplifies the common mode signal VC is referred to as a common mode gain. I could call it as ACM also or AC also. Okay, this AC should ideally be 0. And this ideally be 0, and practically it should be as low as possible. Okay, so there are two things that you must understand when you work with a differential amplifier. What of differential gain? Infinite. What must be the value of common gain? ACM, ideally 0. So for an ideal differential amplifier, this must be infinite and common mode gain should be 0. Okay, please understand these parameters. We've spoken about two very important parameters. One is called as a differential gain. The differential gain is the gain which is the gain of the amplifier with which the differential amplifier amplifies the differential signal. So it is V1 minus V2, whatever is the gain. AD, what is the value? AD should be as large as possible. Ideally, for the ideal characteristic of the op amp will be that it is infinite, and practically it should be as large as possible. Then there is another term that is called as AC, or it is called as ACM. Some books call it as AC, some books call it as ACM. It is a common mode gain. The common mode gain is the gain amplifies the common mode signal. Okay, what should be the value, ideal value of common mode gain? 0. Practically, it should be as low as possible. So for a very good op amp, or for an op amp, these two conditions are very, very important. The differential gain ideally should be infinite, and the common mode gain ideally should be 0. So the reason why you want this is so that the output voltage is proportional only to the differential input voltage. I'll come to the common mode signal a little ahead, but understand these terms. And if you have any doubts, please these two terms. Otherwise, we can go ahead. Hello? Excuse. Hello? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able to hear me, beta? So any doubts in what I have done, I'll come back here. Please understand this term, common mode signal. Read this carefully, the 2 points. Common mode signal is V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V. Okay. What happens to the output? The output is 0. Look at the differential gain. It is the gain at which the differential amplifier amplifies your differential signal. The symbol that is there to represent it is AD. Ideal value of differential gain is infinite. The practically you want it in a practical op amp or in a very good op amp, you want this parameter to be as large as possible. You have a common mode gain. The common mode gain is the gain that amplifies the common mode signal of the op amp that is applied at the input terminals. Ideally, it should be 0. Practically, it should be all as possible. So there are two important things that you must know with respect to the parameters of op amp. The differential gain should be infinite. The common mode gain should be 0. The reason why this happens is so that your output voltage is proportional to the differential input signal. Okay. Can I move ahead, please? Please
Yes.
read this very, yeah. Everybody clear about these terms? I'm going to use these terms extensively ahead: differential gain, common mode signal. So I believe that everybody must be very, very clear with it. Let me move ahead about, let me now move ahead about a block diagram of a typical op amp. This is the block diagram of a typical op amp. Let's understand this. Typically, inside the op amp, there are 4 blocks. One is referred to as the input stage. Then there is an intermediate stage. Then there is a level shifting stage. I'll very briefly tell you about each one of them. And there is an output stage. Okay. So if you look at a block diagram of a typical op amp, there are 4 different blocks inside an op amp. An input stage, an intermediate stage, a level shifting stage, and an output stage. So let's try and understand each one of them very, very carefully. Let's look at the first one, which is the input stage. And there is something that is written at the bottom. What does the input stage comprise of or consist of? The input stage of the op amp is a differential amplifier, It has got 2 inputs. So that is why it is a dual input. So can you look at this word? Dual input differential amplifier. And there is a balanced output. Now try and understand this term. Okay. What is the internal circuit of the input stage of an op amp? The internal circuit of the input stage of the op amp is a differential amplifier. It has got 2 inputs. So that is what you can see here. One is a non-inverting input and one is an inverting input. So it's a dual input differential amplifier. What do you mean by this balanced output? So very quickly, we are going to do differential amplifiers in detail, but very quickly, I'm just going to draw a circuit just to explain you something. I'm just going to draw a circuit. This is one transistor. This is the other transistor. This is your emitter resistor. You know something? These are your collector resistors, RC, and this is your VCC that is applied. So this is how a differential amplifier I'm going to show you. I've just drawn partly a circuit. So this is an NPN transistor. What do you mean by the word balanced output? The balanced output is that the output is taken across both the collectors. The balanced output means that the output of a differential amplifier is taken across both the collectors. Okay, is taken across both the collectors. So this is one collector and this is the other collector. I repeat, we don't need to know so many details, but since I'm doing it, in a detail. The first stage of an op amp is a dual input. That is why you see a plus sign here, inverting input. You see a minus sign here, which is an inverting input. which is an inverting input, which is a non-inverting input. So plus and minus, this is a dual input. It is a differential amplifier circuit that we have spoken about. But here I've given you the internal circuit of a differential amplifier. It's a transistorized circuit. What do you mean by this word balanced output? That is the reason I've drawn this. The balanced output means that the output is taken across both the collectors. The output is taken, just give me a minute, beta. Just give me a minute. Hello, Mukesh. हाँ मुकेश, हाँ तू CCF में है? नहीं नहीं नहीं, वैभव के पास नहीं जाना बेटा, तू नीचे CCF में जा। बेटा CCF में जाके प्रसाद को फोन कर। प्रसाद के पास जा, अंदर प्रसाद के पास जा, मुझे फोन कर। ओके, अंदर प्रसाद के पास जा, मुझे।
सॉरी, मैं तेरे को बंद।
I'll just share it again. Okay, okay. Anyway, so what do you mean by the word dual? What do you mean by the word dual input? The dual input is that you have an inverting input and you have a non-inverting input. What do you mean by a differential amplifier circuit? You already know that it amplifies the difference. What do you mean by balanced output? So understand that this circuit is transistorized. This circuit is transistorized and the output is taken across both the collectors. When the output is taken across both the collectors, it is called as balanced output. If the output is taken across one of the collectors, it is called as unbalanced output. This is, we will study in detail when we do differential amplifier, but for a time being, please understand this concept. The first stage of the op-amp, or in the block diagram of an op-amp, is an input stage. What is an input stage? Dual input, balanced output, differential amplifier. So I'm reading that out for you. What is the input stage? It is a dual input, balanced output, differential. Balanced output, I hope you understand, across both the collectors, differential amplifier circuit. The two inputs are inverting inputs and non-inverting inputs. You can see this here, inverting and non-inverting inputs. What is the basic purpose of this stage? The basic purpose of the stage is, number one, it gives you the voltage gain of the op-amp. It provides the voltage gain of the op-amp. Number two, the input resistance of the op-amp is decided at this stage. What is the input resistance of the op-amp is decided at this stage. So let us read the 4 parameters about the input stage. What is the circuit comprise? It is a dual input. So it's a transistorized circuit, dual input, balanced output, output taken across both the collectors, differential amplifier. The two inputs, as I've already been telling you, are referred to as inverting and non-inverting inputs. Okay, this stage provides most of the voltage gain of the op-amp. So the voltage gain of the op-amp is decided at this stage, and it also decides the value of the input resistance of the op-amp. Okay, let me get back to the diagram. This is what we have finished. Now, this is your two outputs of the collector. And you come to the next stage, which is called as an intermediate stage. It is a dual input, as you are able to see here. It's an unbalanced output. That is why the output is across just one of the collector. It is a dual input, unbalanced output differential amplifier. And I'll tell you what is the purpose of this intermediate stage. Okay, so let us look at the second block. The second block is called as an intermediate stage. It is a dual input, as you are able to see here. It is an unbalanced output. That is why the output is just one differential amplifier. So let us see what is the purpose of an intermediate stage. It is usually another differential amplifier, as we are able to see here. Okay, this input drives the input stage, drives the stage. So this input is actually driving this stage. This input stage is actually driving this stage. Okay, it is a dual input, unbalanced output, differential amplifier. Output is just across one of the collectors. That is why it's also called as single-ended output, differential amplifier. So an intermediate stage is another differential amplifier. It is a dual input, unbalanced output differential amplifier. You see that one output, dual input, this is the intermediate stage. Now we come down to this important stage, which is the level shifting stage. Okay. What is the circuit? It is an emitter follower circuit. I think you have done an emitter follower in FIBAC. It is an emitter follower circuit and it uses a constant current source to drive it. It uses a constant current source to drive it. But I'm going to tell you what is the function of the level shifting stage. Okay. What is the function of the level shifting stage? If you come back to this diagram, there are no components between the two stages. Can you see this? Input stage is directly coupled to an, just give me a minute, beta. I have an important phone call. Mukesh? Mukesh? Hello? Hello? अगर मुकेश का फोन आएगा तो उसको बोलना कि प्रसाद प्रसाद को पूछना कि उस दिन नेशनल कॉलेज से लोग आए थे, वो बीएफएम में इंटरव्यू में 75 मार्क्स का इंटरव्यू लिख रहे हैं, ऐसे ही अपलोड करें क्या करें, मुकेश से बात sorry beta, some university work. Okay, again I repeat, look at stage 1 and stage 2. There are no components between stage 1 and stage 2. So this kind of coupling is called as direct coupling. From stage 1 is directly coupled to stage 2, and from stage 2 you have a direct coupling to this phase. So let me move ahead. Due to direct coupling between the first two stages, what happens to the amplified signal? There is an amplified signal here, which is really of a value that is non-zero DC value. This is non-zero DC value. This is non-zero DC value. There is an amplified signal because of direct coupling at this stage, which is a non-zero DC value. What is the job of the level shifting stage? To get it to zero DC levels. To get it to zero DC levels. So that is what I'm saying. The level shifting stage is to bring this DC level to 0 volts with respect to ground. So please understand what is the purpose of the level shifting stage. There is a decoupling between the two stages. The input as an amplified signal with some non-zero DC level. Please understand this. The input of level shifting stage is an amplified signal with some non-zero DC level. What is the job of this block? Is to get it to 0 DC volts with respect to ground. Is to get it to 0 DC volts with getting to ground. Okay. And the last stage is the output stage. It is, I'll just explain you. It is a push-pull amplifier and it gives you the required output. So the output stage is a complementary output stage. The purpose of this is it amplifies the voltage and raises the current supplying capability of the op-amp. And one other thing that it does is it ensures that the output resistance of the op-amp is very low. Why do you need the output resistance to be very low? Because you don't want any kind of loading to take place. So the output stage is a push-pull amplifier stage. Its objective is to increase the magnitude of the voltage and also raise the current capabilities and also ensure that the output resistance of the op-amp is low. So this is the 4 stages of the block diagram of the amplifier. Please go through this diagram, read what is written at the bottom, and then I will shift to the next slide. Input stage, differential amplifier, dual input, balanced output. Balanced output, output taken across both the collectors. Intermediate stage, also a differential amplifier, also a differential amplifier, also a differential amplifier, but it is a dual input, unbalanced output. That means the output taken across one of the collectors. Okay. Then the level shifting stage at the input of at the output of the intermediate stage or at the input of the level shifting stage, you have an amplified signal which is non-zero DC. The job of this circuit is to reduce it to zero DC with respect to ground. And the output stage is basically to reduce the output resistance of the op amp, increase the voltage and current capabilities of the op amp. So I'm now changing the slide. Copywriting, Namrata. Copywriting.
वो बोलता है उधर से बात करने नहीं होता है
हाँ मुकेश, उसको बोल कि हम लोग नाश्ता से 2 दिन पहले आए थे। प्रसाद है क्या? प्रसाद को बोल कि नेशनल कॉलेज से 2 दिन पहले आए थे। एक इंटरनल मार्क्स अपलोड करने का है बीएमएम का। वो यूजर आईडी पासवर्ड सब कुछ है। हाँ बीएमएम का यूजर आईडी पासवर्ड पासबुक पासवर्ड सब कुछ है। पर क्या हो रहा है जब हम वो बच्ची का नाम और सीट नंबर से बराबर आ रहा है तो टीचर का 25 मार्क्स एंड गेटिंग 75 और कॉपी दिख रहा है वहां पर, तो मैं 25 मार्क्स आके अपलोड कर दूं, खाली वो पूछ के मुझे बताना लोकेशन। अरे डायरेक्ट लाइन, अरे कौन सा डायरेक्ट लाइन? उसमें एक नंबर दिया है, वो कंटिन्यूअसली इंगेज आ रहा है। हाँ वो यूनिवर्सिटी हेल्पलाइन है। हाँ कंटिन्यूअसली इंगेज आ रहा है। तुमने वो साक्षी का सोशल एक नंबर हम देंगे।
एक व्हाट्सएप करो।
Okay, beta. Any doubt so far? Input stage, intermediate stage, then you have a level shifter and the output stage. Please read what I have written. It is a dual input, that means inverting and non-inverting, output across both the collectors, and it's a differential amplifier. Big purpose, input resistance, and the voltage gain. Intermediate stage, also a differential amplifier, a dual input. It is unbalanced output taken across one of the collectors. That is why it is called as a unbalanced output. Third stage, shall I change the slide?
Yes,
Shall I-
sir.
Okay, the third stage is the level shifting stage and the output stage. Please read this carefully before I move ahead. This is the block diagram of the typical operational circuit. The IC that you see is basically made up of 4 blocks: input, intermediate, level shifter, and the output stage. These are the 4 stages inside that single IC of the op amp. Can I move ahead now, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is what we have already done. I had explained to you, but now I'm going to do it in more detail. What are the different input modes of the op amp? Remember when I started teaching you, I told you that there are 3 different ways in which I can use the op amp: a double-ended mode, a single-ended mode, and common end mode. Differential mode is the double-ended mode, a common mode, and the single-ended mode. Okay, and this is determined by stage 1. So it is determined by the differential amplifier input stage, whether the op amp is single-ended or it is in a differential mode, used or it is in the common mode is decided at this stage. Like for this diagram that you see here, this is a double-ended. This is a double-ended. This is a double-ended mode or a differential mode that I'm using the op amp in. So let's now understand this with the help of a diagram. What is meant by a single-ended mode? What is meant by a differential mode, and what is meant by a common mode? Look at this diagram. I'm using an AC signal. This signal is applied to an inverting terminal of the op amp. Look at this minus sign. So I'm applying V in to the inverting terminal of the op amp. The non-inverting terminal of the op amp is grounded. Okay, so one terminal is grounded and the signal is applied to another input terminal. Obviously, as I've explained to you, this is 180 degrees out of phase. This is 180 degrees out of phase and amplified. You know this. This I have done. But look at it. What do you mean by a single-ended mode, input mode? Look at this diagram. The inverting input is grounded. The V in signal or the input signal is applied to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp. So this and this. So this gives you a definition of a single-ended input mode. If the signal is applied or if the input is applied to only one terminal and the other terminal is grounded, the op amp is said to be used in the single-ended mode. I repeat what I've said. Look at the two diagrams very, very, very carefully. Diagram on the left, the non-inverting input is grounded. The signal is applied to only one input, which is the inverting input. Diagram on the right, the non-inverting terminal is where the signal is applied and the inverting input is grounded. So when your signal is applied to only one input and the other input is grounded, it is referred to as a single-ended input mode. So I'm just going here and read this. I'm talking about a single-ended input mode. If the input signal is applied to only one input and the other input is connected or the other terminal is connected to ground and operating in a single-ended mode. Okay. If it is applied to the inverting input and if it is an AC signal, I've already told you it is 180 degrees out of phase. If it is applied to the non-inverting input, it is in phase. So with each other, the input and the output signals are in phase. If the signal is applied to the non-inverting input and the output are 180 degrees out of phase. If the input signal is applied to the inverting input. Read this very, very carefully. Look at the diagram. Again, one terminal grounded. In this, it is the non-inverting input. In this, it is an inverting input. Where is signal V in applied? In this case, it is applied to the inverting input. In this case, it is applied to the non-inverting input. Here, the input and output are 180 degrees out of phase. Here, the input and output are in phase. The input and output are in phase. I'm now leaving you for a minute to read this. This kind of operation is referred to as a single-ended input. Can I go ahead? Or you
Yes,
need
sir.
some?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this mode. We're going to talk about the differential mode. Look at this. Look at the differential mode diagram. V in is applied to inverting input. V in 2 is applied to the non-inverting input. This is V in. This is out of phase inputs, and then you get a differential output. So two opposite polarities. Can you see this? V in 1 and V in 2 are applied to the two inputs of the op amp. It's called as a double-ended operation. What is going to happen here? This output is going to be the difference between the two signals. Difference between the two signals is amplified and appears as an output. So look at the diagram for differential mode. Again, I come back. Look at this. Second mode, differential mode. This is the diagram. Single-ended input signal applied only to one terminal. The other terminal is grounded. In a differential mode, two signals of opposite polarity are applied to the inverting as well as the non-inverting input. That is why it is referred to as a double-ended operation. The difference between the input signal is amplified, so that is VD, and it appears at the output. Let's look at the third one, which is the common mode. The common mode means the same input signal. Can you see? The same input signal V in is applied to both the terminals. So what is going to happen? If the same input signal is going to apply to both the terminals, what is going to happen to V1 minus V2? V1 minus V2 is going to be 0. So ideally, V out should be 0 volts. Okay. Producing a 0 output for a common mode signal, there is a term that I'm going to talk about. It is called as the common mode rejection ratio, CMRR. A very, very, very important parameter. But I repeat, look at the common mode signal. It is the same common signal V in that is applied to inverting as well as the non-inverting input. So what is V1 minus V0? V1 minus V2 is V in. V in is 0. So ideally V out is 0. So ideally a 0 output voltage should be produced by the op-amp. Producing a 0 output, this is a very, very, very important term which I'm going to explain to you now. It is called as common mode rejection. Okay. So what have we seen? I'll just come back very quickly. We have seen the three different input modes in which the op-amp can be used. In short, the three different modes, three different input modes are single-ended. In a single-ended, one terminal is grounded and the signal is applied to the other terminal. Second, differential mode, in which two input voltages of opposite polarities are applied to the two terminals, and the output VD is the difference between the two input terminals. And the third one is the common mode, in which the same signal is applied to both the input terminals. So ideally VD is 0, V1 minus V2 is 0, so V0 is 0. These are the three diagrams. Have a quick look before I move ahead. This is your single-ended mode, inverting on the inverting on the left, non-inverting on the right. This is your differential mode. Two signals of opposite polarity applied to inverting and non-inverting terminals. And this is your common mode, where the same signal is applied. Ideally, V out should be 0. This is called as common mode rejection. This is called as common mode rejection. Just have a look at this before I explain you this very important term, common mode rejection ratio. But have a look at this. Can I move ahead, beta? Have you understood these very, very simple terms related to op-amp? Differential gain, common mode gain. Then what are the input modes in which the op-amp can be used? What is the block diagram or the internal structure of an ideal operational amplifier? All these topics we have covered.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. Okay. Okay, now let me move ahead and talk about the common mode rejection ratio. Okay. Let us look at the common mode rejection ratio. What is the common mode signal? It is the signal present at both the input terminals of the op-amp. This is what we have seen. V1 equal to V2. V1 equal to V2 is called a common mode signal. Okay. Now understand this unwanted signal. Say for example, on an inverting terminal, you have connected a wire. Now wires also act as antenna and pick up basically unwanted signals from the atmosphere. This unwanted signal is also sometimes referred to as noise. Is sometimes referred to as noise. I'm going to repeat what I've said. Let us say you've connected a simple copper wire onto the terminals of the op amp. Now, these wires also act as antennas and can pick up unwanted signals from the surface or can pick up unwanted signals from the atmosphere. One example of a common mode signal is a noise, which is unwanted signal in your circuit. Okay. So what should happen is ideally your op amp should produce a zero output corresponding to common mode signal. And ideally, an op amp must produce a zero output corresponding to a common mode signal because your input is zero, so the output is zero. But a practical op amp gives you a very small output voltage corresponding to common mode signal. In other words, your op amp has a capability of rejecting a common mode signal. Of rejecting a common mode signal. Let me explain you this topic again. It is primarily related to unwanted noise or unwanted signals present in your circuit. So what happens is if there is an unwanted signal present in your circuit, that is amplified by the op amp and you get an output. For an ideal operational amplifier, if the common mode signal is zero, the output should be zero. But practically, if you observe, there is a very small output voltage corresponding to common mode signal. So the output voltage is very small, probably of the order of millivolts. Probably of the order of millivolts. So what has your op amp done? Your op amp is capable of rejecting this unwanted signal. So capable of rejecting this common mode signal or this unwanted signal, which is noise. Okay. So we define a term CMRR. CMRR is common mode rejection ratio. It is the ability of the differential amplifier to reject common mode signal successfully. To reject common mode signal successfully. What is CMRR? Is the ability of the differential amplifier to reject this signal, reject unwanted signal, to reject noise successfully. So it is one of the very important parameters of the op amp. So that is why I called it as a figure of merit of the op amp. Okay. Now, ideally, the value of CMRR, I'll define what is CMRR. I'll define what is CMRR. It is differential gain upon common mode gain. Your differential gain ideally is infinite. Your common mode gain ideally is zero. So this is infinite. Okay. So the value of CMRR should ideally be infinite and practically as high as possible. Okay. So ideally the op amp should produce a very high gain for a desired signal if it is single ended or differential. But for a common mode, it should produce very low output. What is a differential amplifier? What is CMR? Namrata, what is CMRR? It is differential gain upon common mode gain. Your differential gain ideally is infinite. Your common mode gain ideally is zero. So CMRR is ideally infinite and practically as high as possible. It's a very, very, very important term with respect to a parameter, a very important term with respect to an op amp. It is called as common mode rejection ratio. What is common mode rejection ratio? Which means what is the ability of the op amp to reject noise? What is the ability of the op amp to reject noise? What is the ability of the op amp to reject common mode infinite? Practically it should be practically it should be as high as possible. Okay. So this is CMRR. I want you to read this very, very, very important parameter with reference to an op amp. CMRR is common mode rejection ratio. It is the ability of the op-amp to reject common mode signals or to reject noise or unwanted signals. That is what the op-amp does. So ideally, if the common mode, ideally, if there is a common mode signal, the output should be 0. But for op-amps of the order of millivolts, there is some very small output voltage. So what happens is your op-amp then has a capability of rejecting the common mode signal. That is why it is called as the common mode rejection ratio. The formula is differential gain upon common mode gain. The differential gain for an ideal op-amp is infinite. Common mode gain is 0. So CMRR should ideally be infinite and practically as high as possible. For an op-amp that works with a single-ended input or it works with a differential input, the gain should be very large. The gain should be very large. But for a common mode signal, CMRR should ideally be 0.
प्रसाद
प्रसाद हाँ प्रसाद उस दिन आया था ना आपको मिलने को बच्चे का नाम दिखता है, बच्चे का सीट नंबर दिखता है, बट मार्क्स इंस्टेड ऑफ 25 75 25 डाल दूंगा, जितना है बच्चे का डाल दूंगा, वो इग्नोर करो, वो 75 नोट करो ना, ठीक है, ओके, वो जो ऐड डिजाइन जो आप बोल रहे हो ना 25 तो उसका तो नाम दिख रहा ही है कि 25 से पास होगी, है ना, तो जो ऐड डिजाइन जो आप बात कर रहे हो ना, जो फायदा होना वो 25 से पास होगी, जो पासवर्ड मिला है वो इंटरनेट पता है मेरा 163 कॉलेज कोड 163 अब ये मैं इसका मुझे इंटरनेट लॉगिन पासवर्ड चाहिए हाँ हाँ अच्छा बेटा मुझे ऑफिशियल जो हमें वो 25 मिला और सब yeah, is it clear? Okay, clear?
Yes,
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Okay, so this I will complete it now. Next time, we will start with the important parameters of the op-amp next time. Okay, so we have finished common mode rejection ratio. I've given you the formula. It is differential gain upon common. Please remember all these formulas are very important from the problems point of view. So I will ask you to calculate. Suppose I give you differential gain and I give you common mode gain and I ask you to calculate CMRR. You should be able to do it. So CMRR is differential gain upon common mode gain. So this is what it is. And we will now in the next lecture start and go with the equivalent circuit of the op-amp and then important parameters and build this up. Okay. So tomorrow's lecture instead of mine, Namrata ma'am will take because I've taken both her lectures. Okay, beta? So we will now, if there are any doubts, please ask me or otherwise we can just leave the meeting. Any doubts on what I have covered up till this point of time? You every PowerPoint presentation that I have has got diagrams. You know, there is an explanation, and we have started with the basics of op-amps and we have built it up. We've studied the block diagram. We've studied the different modes in which the op-amp can be used. We've also studied differential gain, common mode gain, CMRR, and the other parameters with respect to the op amp. Okay. So next lecture, we will now continue with the other topics of the op amp. Okay. Very soon, I will be going to the derivation. Once we are able to do the derivation, and then we will arrive at a formula, and then we will start solving problems with respect to op amps. Are there any doubts with any student, or can we leave the meeting, beta?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, beta. All the best and take care.